Hi guys, so I have a few swatches for you today, and the first, just a quick comparison between Icing Epic Winning and Claire's Night Sky. As I pretty much guessed, they're nearly identical on the nail, but I was able to tell when I did the very first coat that Night Sky has a glitter that's just a little tiny bit smaller than Epic Winning, but after 4 coats, which it is on each of these, this is Epic Winning and this is Night Sky. They're pretty much identical. Also, just to mention, if you're curious what's on my nails, this is the water marble that I did for the Friday I'm in Love collaboration. So there will be a link to that in the information box, and I'll stick in an annotation too. So the main focus of these swatches is going to be the Icing magnetic polishes, and these have 2 guides on the cap so that you can either do it straight or basically sideways. And of course, when you're doing it on your nail, you're going to line up the guide at your cuticle like that and hold it over your nail. So that's a little bit of an awkward angle, but for these swatches I'm actually going to be placing it underneath the nail wheel, and that way you guys will be able to see the magnet in action, and it'll just be a little easier all around. I'm going to do the magnet both ways, and for one nail I'm going to do it with just 1 coat because that's all it says you need in the instructions, but for the second nail I'm going to actually try it with 2 coats. So here is the pink Icing, and the pink and the blue come with this wavy design, while the gold and the silver come with the straight design. And you see I got just a little bit of polish on there. I'm just going to wipe it off with a Q-tip and move on to the second nail here. So if you've never used magnetic polish before, I'll just mention that the design isn't like in the polish. The design is in the magnet. So you see there, as I place the magnet in the opposite direction, that the lines go horizontally instead of vertically. And just comparing these two, the one with only 1 coat, this first nail here, turned out pretty good, but I think the color is a little bit more intense with 2 coats, and if I were going to do this for a manicure, that's the way that I would go. Next I'm going to move on to the blue from Icing, and as I mentioned, that also comes with the wavy line pattern. If you have other magnets, you can use those, but for this I'm just going to swatch them with what they actually come with. So here's a look at the blue with the lines in the horizontal. And the instructions say to hold it for like 10 seconds. I don't really find that it's necessary to hold it for that long. But, you know, just a few seconds, just long enough for the design to get on there. Of course, when you're doing it on your nail, it's a little harder to see because the magnet is on top of it. But it's going to be reacting basically the same as it is in these swatches, so it works pretty quickly. And here again with the blue, you can see that the second nail with the 2 coats, the color is just that much more vibrant. Next I have the silver, and this has a magnet with straight lines. So start off with the first nail. And even if you're doing just 1 coat, you want that coat to be pretty thick. The thicker the coat is, the more obvious the magnetic pattern is going to be. And there you see the straight lines. And you could probably also see basically pulled the polish right off and onto the magnet. So you don't want to let that dry on there. Just clean it off as quickly as you can. And since these are at an angle, rather than do them completely the opposite, which would just make them face the other direction, you know, you can You don't have to use the guides. You can just hold the magnet over your finger. So if you wanted to do like that and get something closer to horizontal, or like this, well, looks like it dried too quick. Let me stick another coat on here quickly. Like this, and get the lines going vertical, that's also an option. The fourth color I have for you guys is the Claire's Gold Magnetix. And as I mentioned in the haul video, the Claire's and the Icing seem to be identical. I haven't seen the Icing Gold to compare it with the Claire's, but I did see the Claire's pink and silver, and they looked just the same. So if you can't find one, keep an eye out for the other. But they really are just about identical. So here we go with the second nail. And like I said, you just want to have a thick coat. If you have a thin coat, then the magnetic design just isn't going to be as prominent. So there's a look at what the lines look like going in the opposite direction. Lastly, I'm just going to swatch a few of the Crackles that I got. And these base colors that I'm using. This gold is Sally Hansen Tassel. This bright pink is Zoya Alley, which is also in the marble I'm wearing, along with a Wet n Wild Disturbia, which is this dark purple here. And I think they're looking very close on camera, but this last one is just Wet n Wild Black. So on top of the gold, I'm going to be using the Fuchsia Glitter from Claire's. And these are all kind of the first actual glitter Crackles that I've seen. There have been some other Crackles that were very sparkly, but none that were actually totally glitter. So they seem, the formula is kind of weird, kind of goopy and difficult to get a lot of glitter coverage with. But I'm trying to get them on here with just as few strokes as possible and still have decent coverage. So that was the kind of turquoise Claire's glitter that I did over that pink. Now here I have the purple from Icing, which I'm going to do over the dark purple Wet n Wild. And the last one that I have is the Blasted Opalescent Gold from Sephora. And I bought this one because I liked my other Opalescent so well. So that's very sheer, but very pretty. I'm not sure if the camera is really picking all that up. It's like a golden purple almost, and it's not showing up real well against the black. I think it might actually do better over a lighter color. So I think I'm going to take just a minute and put some white over one of these nails. I'll be right back. Okie doke, I've got a white here. I'm not sure it's completely dry, so this may not crack properly, but I really just want to see what the color looks like over the white. And as you can see, it's very different than over the black. Very gold and sheer. And while that's drying and hopefully cracking, I'm just going to go around the nail wheel one more time. Give you guys a look at the pink and blue Magnetix. And now that they're drier, they seem to have held onto their design a little better than the silver and the gold. And that may just have to do with the formula. I mean, even though the first three are the same brand, and the fourth one might as well be the same brand, between the colors you're still going to have differences in the formula. So I much prefer the pink and blue myself. And the rest of these Crackles turned out pretty well. I'll include some pictures with top coat at the end of this so that you get a better idea of how sparkly the glitter is. And there's that over the white, which is a little bit weird because, like I said, the white wasn't totally dry. But you do get a look at how pretty and golden that is. So I hope you guys enjoyed all these swatches. And stay tuned because I will soon have the swatches of the China Glaze Magnetix as well. So I'll keep this nail wheel with these colors on here so that I can compare them side by side when I record that one. As always, thanks for watching.